plug right there. Right, yeah.
Baruch Dayan Ha'emet. We praise the Judge of Truth. Let us begin with Psalm 121. Esai Enai El Haharim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Ezri Me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim Va'aretz. Al Yiten Lamot Raglecha, Al Yanum Shomrecha. Hine Lo Yanum V'lo Yishan Shomer Yisrael. Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha Ayad Yeminecha. Yomam Hashemesh Lo Yakekav Yarech Belayla. Adonai Yishmarcha Mikol Ra Yishmor Et Nafshecha. Adonai Yishmar Tzedcha Uvoecha Me'ata Va'ad Olam. I lift up my eyes unto the mountains, from whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. The Lord will not let your foot give way, your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike thee by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your soul, your going and your coming, now and forever. Death has taken your dear, your beloved Peter Weiner. His Hebrew name is Pesach. Friends grieve in their darkened world. In their silence there is lamentation. In their tears there is loneliness. Lost in their sorrow may they find the presence of loving friends. Hear them, O God, and be with them. For Pete's love that united many, many people in life, and which death cannot sever. For his companionship that was shared along life's path, and which continues through the tenderness of memory. For the gifts of his heart and mind, which brought joy and happiness, and is now a precious remembrance. For all of these and more, we give our thanks to God. It is a time of grief, and so, again, we listen to the voice of our sacred scriptures from Sefer Tehillim, from the book of Psalms. It tells us of our kinship with the Creator, in light as in darkness, in joy as in sorrow, in life as in death. Together let us recite the 23rd Psalm in English. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It is a privilege to call forward many to eulogize your dear Pete in so many ways. First, we call forward Megan, Marguerite,
I'm just going to say a few words for my Aunt Harriet. She sent a little passage to us, so her passage is, Dear, dear family and friends, I know I can only say a few words during my time limit, but I must tell you all that my heart is broken of the loss of my brother of 65 years. He was truly wonderful to me, and I will sincerely miss him. I'm so grateful that he was in my life. Love, Harriet. So it's very, very hard when you're asked to speak of words of your grandfather. So I was very, very lucky as a teenager. I was the first grandchild. They never thought they were going to have their first grandchild born as a teenager, but they had that. So I was welcomed into this family. I don't have grandparents that are better than Grandma and Grandpa were and how they treated me. So Grandpa we greatly, greatly missed. So we love them all.
Dalton, please.
So, me and Cole and Amy didn't really get a chance to know Grandpa for as long as everyone else, but he welcomed us into the family along with Marilyn, and just treated us like that we were always part of it. Always there with a story about eating lobster in New England or some other silly joke to tell us. And just want to say that I wish I could have known him longer. He was a great man for what I did see of him. And it's a shame that he's gone, but I'm sure he's in a better place now.
Brooke Bracha.
Sorry, I thought it was a little more prepared when I got up here. Okay. This is a day I have dreaded for a long time. I feel as if I'll be searching for you when our family gathers and wondering where you are. But I truly know you will always be in our hearts and on our minds. I want you to know that we will take care of Grandma. We will keep her safe and be sure to drive her to her hair appointments. I can't promise we will sleep in the car like you did, or read a 1,000-page book within 2 hours, but I will always show up for her. We will always show up for her, like you did. A caregiver, a lifelong advocate for all people, a napper, a reader, and a best friend, a role model, a teacher, and most importantly, my grandpa. I'm so lucky to have you in my life for this long, and I will truly miss you every day. I love you more than your coffee cake.
Marissa DeVita.
We all go through life with the expectation that someday we're going to lose our grandparents. It's life's sad reality, made all the more difficult when your grandfather was as remarkable as mine was. Peter Weiner was one of my biggest supporters. He called wishing me good luck before the first day of my big girl job, kept up with my always changing interests, and never forgot to conclude our calls with a warm, "Love you, kid." I'll miss the wide-eyed, goofy look on his face as he waits for pun haters like myself to laugh at his joke. I'd say I'd miss Grandpa slipping me a $5 bill after finding the Passover matzah, but I haven't found the matzah in 10 years. Thank you, Cameron. I'll miss the time and care he put into each home-cooked meal, from his famous coffee cake at Thanksgiving, latkes at Hanukkah, and matzo ball soup at Passover. He brought our family closer with every single meal. Most of all, though, I'll miss the stories he shared. It was during these conversations that I felt most connected to my grandfather. But I know that our family will continue to create our own stories. And I know that in one way or another, Grandpa lives on in all of us here today. We carry on the family last name, whether we like it or not. Cameron has his red hair. Brooke possesses Grandpa's incredible caregiving qualities. And my dad, of course, carries on his pun-telling legacy and his ear hair. Grandpa will be missed beyond belief, and having known him is truly an honor and a blessing. We love you, Grandpa.
Alex Azan.
As everyone knows, Grandpa was an avid Red Sox and UConn women's basketball supporter. Grandpa was able to see his sports teams win multiple championships throughout his life. As any sports fan, that is something to be envious about. As a Cleveland fan, I hopefully will be able to just enjoy one or two more in my lifetime. In addition to sports, Grandpa and I also enjoyed bonding over Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and the Hobbit series. I hope to share these same bonding experiences with my future children and grandchildren one day. Grandpa's wisdom and authentic happiness are two things that always remind me of him. I hope I can be as wise as he was and make people smile as much as he did. Thank you for being a great role model to so many, and you will be so missed. We love you.
And Cameron Chaya.
Almost a year ago today, I wrote a speech for my Aunt Jenny's funeral. I came across a quote that described her perfectly, and it just so happens to describe my grandpa perfectly as well. There are some people that bring a light so great to this world that even after they have left, the light still remains. Grandpa was such a light in our family and in the lives of so many people. I like to think that I inherited quite a few traits from him, being genuine, funny, stubborn, and most importantly, the red hair. One thing I absolutely did not inherit from him was his reading skills. He could read a whole Harry Potter series before I finished a paperback copy of Junie B. Jones. As I got older, I realized that my dad was also a lot like my grandfather. Kind-hearted, intelligent, stubborn, and started losing hair at a fairly young age. Still very handsome. One thing I wish he would have inherited was Grandpa's taste in music. I would take bagpipes and Beethoven over Five Finger Death Punch any day. Grandpa's humor was one of my favorite things about him. He told me many things about life, but this one was my favorite, and I think he told it to all the grandchildren. Excuse my language, he said it, not me. He always told me this when I would drive, or even when I first started driving, getting my license. He said, "It's not you that I don't trust on the road. It's every other asshole out there that doesn't know how to drive." Although he was silly and witty, he never failed to show me how proud he was of me or how much he loved me. He has definitely set the bar high for my future husband. The way he loved my sweet grandma for 60 years is a love I strive to find. He was patient and did whatever Grandma wanted. And if we know Grandma, she wanted a lot. She loved him just as much as he loved her. He raised my dad to love my mom just the same, and I'm so glad I had such a strong relationship to learn from. He was hands down the best husband, father, and grandpa. Not everyone is as blessed as I was to have such a strong bond with the grandpa, and I am forever grateful I had him around for 21 years. His loving heart, his radiant smile, silly jokes, amazing coffee cakes, and his obnoxiously cute laugh are what made him who he was. I'm afraid I will be a little less me without him here, but I know I will be able to give him the biggest hug again one day soon. I will hold you in my heart forever, Grandpa, and I will always love you until we meet again. Go Red Sox.